Hello, hello, hello. I am Zakiya Monique, Master Relationship Strategist, and I am also a transformational speaker. And I'm excited to be here with you this evening to talk about the Derrick Jaxn controversy. Initially, I wasn't even going to talk about it, but my inbox had been going, and so I just wanted to kind of give my perspective on what the situation is and to really talk about it from a different perspective. But if you're new to the channel, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. If it's good to you, make sure you get somebody else in here. I am Zakiya Monique. I'm a master relationship strategist. What does that mean? I help people, I help women particularly. I specialize in helping women to enhance their personal relationships, meaning that, hey, we're going to go back and we're going to figure out why it is you can't stay in a good relationship or a healthy relationship. Why do you continue to go to toxic men, etc.? And so we're going to go back so that we can go forward in a healthy way. And that's what I help women to do. I help you to enhance your personal relationships so that you can have the life that you desire. So that's who I am. Hopefully, you will hang around this channel and get what you need. If you want to work with me in a different capacity than just this channel, you can absolutely look in the description after we're live. Look in the description and we can chat about how we can do that. You can go to bit.ly/linktree and get what you need. But I want to talk today about Derrick Jaxn. And let me be very clear. If you hang around here long enough, you know that I'm not into bashing people. That's not what I do. I'm not here to bash Mr. Jaxn because I don't believe that as a coach, as a counselor, as a therapist, in no way, shape, or form do you tear down and build up at the same time. So you cannot say that you build up but then you also are tearing down. Like that's not what we do. If we want to see people get better, yes, we tell them the truth, and yes, sometimes it's a hard truth, but we do not tear down and build up at the same time. Okay, so my mission here is not to bash him. If that's what you are looking for, then that's not what I have for you today. But I will talk about the facts. I will give my view on the matter. So I'll talk about the facts as much as I know. I'll put it that way. So let me also say as a disclaimer that I did not watch all of the videos. I just couldn't. Okay, I just couldn't. I am in the relationship coaching line, and some of the stuff was just a little bit too much for me. So I did not watch all of the videos, but I watched enough to know that we have a problem. Okay, Houston, we have a problem. All right. Now, let me give you another disclaimer. Derrick Jaxn is human, and no one is perfect. We got that out the way. Okay. Let's also get this out the way that some of us very well have not taken our own advice. So let's get that out the way. That's not what we're here to talk about tonight. Okay, he is human. Nobody's perfect. We're not here to even talk about the fact that he cheated, but I want to shift your perspective. If you will allow me to shift your perspective and the way that you see some things, that's what we're here for tonight. Okay, because we are all subject to fail. We're all subject to sometimes even fall, but your true character is determined by how you get up. And that's part of the problem I have with Mr. Jaxn is how he's getting up. Okay, so no matter what you feel about him, we are to pray for him and his wife, depending on what you believe, because I don't require you to believe like I believe, but many of us are sympathetic for his wife because some of us have stood in her stead. Some of us have been in her shoes, right? So some of us have, are kind of feeling like, dang, I know what it feels like to be cheated on, but I dare you not to internalize this in that way. Sympathize, yes, but, and maybe even empathize to a certain degree, but I challenge you to pray for both of them because they both need it. All right, so let's get to it. Let's get to it. And again, thank you for hanging with me. Let's get to it. So, number one, he admitted that he was proud. I have 5 points, I think. I have 5 points today. He admitted that he was proud, but he said that he was healed. Okay, so basically, he said this is an old matter. Okay, so he admitted that he was proud. That's his words, not mine. He admitted that he was proud. He said that he was healed, and basically, he said this is an old matter. And that's the kind of the way it came off. Kind of like this, oh, yes, I did it. Yes, this, yes, that. And it kind of came off that way. But the problem is that he handled the situation the same way that he handled things prior to the proclaimed healing. He did a video on himself in the third person, just like he did, just as he did in his original video, apologizing, but then continuing to push this book. See, that all kind of ties together. You did a video on yourself in third person, and in some ways you justified stuff. So you really didn't, you used the opportunity to once again justify how you did things or why you did things or that you didn't mean it or whatever. Okay. And that is what make people feel that he's narcissistic, because it's like, you really did that? That's what you did to John Gray. That's what you did before you said you were healed. So if we do the same things after we're healed that than we did, when we did before we healed, people tend to think you're not healed. You can't be. Okay, you can't be. So that's number one. He admitted that he was proud. He said that he was healed and basically said that, okay, this is an old matter, but he handled things the same way. He did that video of himself and continued to push this book. Now, let me say this. I'm not one of those people that's going to compare. I don't usually like comparing people in situations because they're typically different. However, just last week, Kirk Franklin was in danger of being canceled. Okay. Kirk Franklin came, addressed the people with his wife next to him and said, I apologize. I'm going to do what I need to do to take care of my son. Kirk Franklin did not show up with a song for us to stream. Kirk Franklin did not show up and talk to us and family. What do you have to say, family? He didn't show up with that. He showed up saying, I was wrong. I didn't handle this thing properly. I'm going to get us some help. And he, as far as I know, went and did that. Okay, he didn't show up and say, "Can y'all stream this video? Can y'all stream this this song that I wrote?" And trust me, he could have gotten away with it. People would have bought the song because they know how frustrating young children can be, especially adult children. But what I'm saying is, Kirk didn't come and do all of that. When you are truly apologetic, your conduct is becoming, meaning you don't care about a book. You don't care about a book. Kirk Franklin has not done 600 additional videos. And I think that if anybody has a brand that they're in danger of losing or being impacted, when you look at Kirk Franklin's brand and you look at Derrick Jaxn's brand, hello, Kirk Franklin has a lot to lose. But he is concerned, as far as I know, about his first ministry, so as to not be a public success and a private failure. So when you're truly apologetic, your conduct is becoming, you don't care about a book, you care about your marriage, okay? And if you have a true gift of serving those in relationships, you understand that the pain, that even the scab, okay? Yes, this may have been something that's not new to his wife, but don't you think that those emotions came up and hurt her yet again? I don't care how many scriptures she has behind or how many scriptures that she quotes. At the end of the day, it still hurts. And so if you have a true gift of serving those in relationships, you're touched by that. You understand that pain and that even the scab being wounded, ripped off, you understand the wound caused. Because now the world knows. See, it's the difference when me and you know, that's one thing, but now me, you, and the world knows. So if you really have a gift of relationships, that has to tear your heart up. That has to tear your heart up. And the world is making a mockery of her. And then he joined them by laughing, telling them that wasn't a bonnet, that was a hat. Ha, ha, ha. Where's the sense of urgency in protecting your queen? Where's the sense of urgency in covering her? I just don't feel it. I could be wrong, but I don't feel the sense of urgency in covering his queen. I don't feel the sense of urgency in protecting her. I don't feel the sense of urgency in the family, in that being the thing that needs to be together right now. I could be wrong because I'm not above being wrong, okay? Pride goes before destruction, a haughty spirit before the fall. That's God's word. That's not me. You got a problem with, you got to take that up with him. But pride goes before destruction, a haughty spirit before a fall. God is not pleased with anybody that is misusing their platform and influence. And he is uncovering, he is exposing, and he is dealing with them first privately. First, God will deal with you privately, like, let's get this together. Okay, get it together. And then he deals with you publicly. So let this be a lesson to any of us, because nobody is far beyond God's touch and reach in his anger. But let us be very clear that any of us that are exploiting people, that are exploiting platforms, that are exploiting influence are subject to the same thing. We can be subject to the same thing at any time. If he has dealt with you privately, let him deal with you privately, get it together. Don't be a public spectacle. Don't make him deal with you in that way. Okay? So my point here is when you are truly apologetic, your behavior shifts. I read something that says that behavior speaks the secrets of the soul. Behavior speaks the secrets of the soul. And so it's one thing to be apologetic, it's another thing to be sorry. Whole lot of sorry people in the world. Sorry people keep doing the same stuff and expecting your forgiveness because you're Christian. Expecting your forgiveness because you're mature. Expecting your forgiveness because I'm a man, and that's what we do. But apologetic people say, you know what? I thank you for your forgiveness, and I dare not go in that same way again. So in this case, a behavior shift is more than just I don't cheat anymore. A behavior shift is that I protect my first ministry, even if it's at the expense of the second. That's what a behavior shift means when you have caused this much pain and humiliation to your wife and you've had a platform where you help women. It says, I will protect my first ministry, which is my home, even if it costs me this whole business, even if it costs me this, even if I have to put this down. It's not just I don't cheat anymore, because cheating is not the only issue here. Let me be clear, and maybe I need to do a live stream on this, but let's be clear. Cheating is usually a root issue. It's a root issue with his character. It's a root issue with his happiness. It's a root issue somewhere. So it's not just a matter of one thing or another. It's an issue. It's a root issue. When a man's recourse is to cheat, we got a problem here, Houston. Root issue problem. Okay? So it's not enough to just say I won't cheat again. Because what about protecting your queen? What about the sense of urgency in that? Okay? I will not be more concerned with selling my book than I am with covering my wife and apologizing and not justifying. When it comes to those who had confidence in me and my messages, what about the other victims here, which are the women who believed in him, who wanted him to be telling the truth because they were desperately seeking something? They were hoping, wishing, praying that he had the answer. And the whole time he was just like the men that he was talking to them about. You know how heartbreaking that is to the women? That's one of the reasons why I showed up today. It's two reasons why I showed up here today. One of them was because those women, I know the women who come and see me. So I can just imagine those women who are hurting that come and see me, that are crying to me. I can imagine them and how they feel now. I can feel that pain. And so again, a change in behavior is not just I won't cheat anymore. It's I will protect my wife. I don't care. You don't got to never buy the book, but I will protect my wife. All right. So I want to talk on that point. So that was number one. Number one was he admitted that he was proud and he said he was healed and that this is an old matter, but he handled the situation really the same way he's been handling everything else. Okay. And that's just me. If you don't feel the same, I understand. Number two, when we access promise before process, this is the result. When we access promise before process, this is the result. What do I mean by that? God takes us through a process, especially when we're serving his people. You have got to be delivered from people in order to truly help them. Okay, let's be very clear. You have got to be delivered from people before you can truly help people. Okay, otherwise you're going to be tempted by gain, tempted by their looks, tempted by whatever. Okay, so you have to be delivered by people in order to help them. And the way that you can deliver it is by going through God's process. Now, Derrick Jaxn was quickly in demand. It seemed like he was an overnight sensation. I'm sure it wasn't that way. I'm sure he climbed the ranks like everybody else does. But all of a sudden, he was speaking on the big stages, and he had big collaborations, and he was making good money or whatever. All of that. But often it came as he tore down the likes of people like John Gray, that people now he has to go back and say, you know what? I was just like him. It came as at the expense of his marriage being torn down. It came at too heavy of a cost. But why? Because when you access promise before you access process, that's a problem. Because when you get to the promise, you won't know how to handle it if you haven't gone through God's process. Ask me how I know. I went through the process from 2012 to 2016 before he said, okay, you can serve my people now. I trust you to serve my people. God has to trust you with his people. Okay, he has to trust you with his people. Many were deceived because there was truth weaved in the message, but the posture impacts position. posture of your heart impacts the position that you have in people's life. The posture of your heart impacts the position that you have on your platform. The posture of your heart impacts the position that you have and when you speak over people's lives. And if that posture is arrogant, we got a problem, Houston. We have a problem, Houston. See, here's the thing. Truth cannot be the only assessment made when we decide to have a coach. Because there's a lot of people that know the truth. Poisonous people know the truth. Negative folks know the truth. Manipulators know the truth. Violators know the truth. The devil, the enemy, he know the truth too. And they will sprinkle enough on it for you to think this got to be right. And I'm not calling Derrick Jaxn the devil, so don't do that. But what I'm saying is, if the posture of your heart is not right, it will impact the position that you have. Because posture always impacts position. And so when you don't go through the process, this is what happens with rich athletes. This is what happens with promising stars. This is what happens to those who are suddenly in high demand and get caught up. This is what happens when they're suddenly in demand and all of a sudden you get caught up. It seems like, well, what happened? He was so promising. He got caught up because he didn't go through the process that God takes you through first. You didn't go through the process. Today, I had a conversation with my dentist and I told him that one of the things that I was thankful for was the fact that I have people around me who are not impressed with me. They're impressed with the gift that God gives me. They're impressed with the gift giver in me, but they are not impressed with me. And the thing about that is this: they cheer me on, they root me on, but they don't mind checking me. And one thing about when you're proud, when you're puffed up, you don't want nobody around you checking you. So you will leave those people, you will label those people haters. And I'm not saying this is what he did, but what I'm saying is there's a kink in his internal circle, because somebody should have been able to reach him well before this happened. And maybe they tried. And maybe the arrogance and the pride or whatever he was dealing with, maybe that made him say, I don't got to listen to you. But we ought to have some level of accountability with people. We ought to have something, some circle set up that will keep us accountable. So I don't know if he had a weak circle of accountability or any accountability at all, but anybody should have seen this coming, from the gray sweatpants and the no shirt on pictures, from the pictures with your hand behind your head. All of them scream single and ready to mingle. When you couple that, not having the accountability that you need, when you couple that with a poisonous posture, that's pride, and wounded women that think you fine, somebody gonna end up in somebody's bed that they ain't got no business in. I'm sorry, every time. Something gonna happen. That's not supposed to happen. Because that's too many, that's too much stuff going on. You got your posture's off. You already done showed folks you're single and ready to mingle. Half the people you deal with don't even know you got a wife. Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit of a problem. So that leads me to number 3. Male coaches need to mentor men. Male coaches need to mentor men. Male coaches need to mentor men instead of teaching women how to deal with the foolishness that the narcissists and wounded men provide. Male mentors. Male mentors should be mentoring men. Male coaches should be mentoring men. God has an order for a reason. If God called him to coach and counsel women, then why did so many of these women not know he had a wife? And I heard that this woman has been in his life for 14 years. He's 31. So that's almost half your life. If that's true. Now, if it's not 14 years, then even if it's 4 or 5 years, because I think they have a child that's about to be 5. So even if it's 4 or 5 years, ultimately, that's enough time for her to have been, she should have been a staple right there with you on them stages or whatever, so that even if nothing else, it reduces the level of liability. Pastors will tell you, hold on, let me go get my wife. Even sometimes doctors will say, hold on, let me go get my assistant. Why? We don't want no liability. I don't want nobody saying I touched you or did nothing. That's how you set yourself up. So how is it that you was so comfortable to be mentoring and talking to women just by yourself? God has an order for a reason. He has an order for a reason. As a relationship coach, why not happily involve her to assist with the women and cover you from those allegations? And let me say this, this may be controversial, but I side out all male coaches that only deal with women. I side eye all male coaches that only deal with women. You know why? Because how can you lead her out of the wilderness? Don't get me wrong, you can give her a male perspective, but how can you truly get to the root of her issues and how she feels as a woman without having her father there or whatever? How can you do that? How can you really lead her out of the wilderness and deal with her root issues as a woman comfortably or effectively? How? I know that God can use whom he chooses, but God is a God of order. He's not the author of confusion. He's not. Why you only help women? I'll tell you why. Because women pay. Women buy classes. Women buy books. Men will look at you side eye. They're not going to pay. Listen, I used to work at a car dealership, and you know what they told us? They told us always sell to the woman because the woman's emotional, and when she get attached to it, that man going to get it for her. Always sell to the woman. So ultimately, the woman makes emotional purchases. The woman makes emotional investments. So guess what? I don't want to have to be bothered with a man and coercing him to buy one book. I'd rather talk to the woman. I can reach her. She desperate anyway. That's how they feel, some of them. I'm not going to say all of them. But ultimately, I side eye anybody that only help women. How? When it's a batch of men out here that you teaching them about. Won't you go help them? Instead of teaching us how to deal with their dysfunction, won't you go teach them not to be dysfunctional? Maybe it's just me. I'm going to move on. But at the end of the day, nobody can say, nobody, listen, at the end of the day, men don't read emails. They don't subscribe to email lists like that. They don't really do all that for relationship stuff. They like, I figure it out, I work it out or whatever. I talk to my homeboys or whatever. But they like, I'm not about to just keep coming. It takes them a long time to trust. And so let's be clear. If there had been God's order, we wouldn't have even had this problem. Because if he would have been mentoring men, hello, just a thought. There's no way that God will send you a wife and send you into he's gonna send you a wife, send you into ministry or business dealing with women and not have her by your side until she got to sit by your side to tell everybody that she forgive you. I don't believe we serve that God. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just don't believe we serve that type of God. The only time we see her sitting next to you in the world is when she's telling everybody that she still forgive you and she's by your side. Shouldn't she have been by your side before? But okay, let's move on. Number 4. So that was number 3. Male coaches need to mentor men instead of teaching women how to deal with the dysfunction of those men. Number 4, cheating is not always a deal breaker for everyone. So stop calling that woman stupid for staying. That's her business. If she brainwashed, that's her business too. She got to learn. She's probably younger than him, and so she has to learn. Okay, they're in their 30s, 30, 31 years old. They got a lot to learn. I get it. But cheating is not always a deal breaker for everybody. Just because it may be one for you, or maybe you feel like it's one for you, it doesn't mean that it's a deal breaker for her. There are some times when God will say stay, and it's usually because he's going to change something or someone in the process. Now, this is the second reason that I showed up here today. It's the second reason because I really was not even trying to deal with the situation. But the first reason was I told you a little earlier. Because I'm really wounded and hurting for the women that are out here just left hanging. The second reason that I'm showing up here today is because don't play my daddy like that. Let's be very, very clear. Even if God tells you to stay, God ain't telling you that you cannot be human enough to address your pain. God not telling you to show up and rattle off 6,600 scriptures and make people think that you're getting some type of Oscar for staying and being mistreated. Whoa, 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 whoa. Let us not misrepresent forgiveness here. Let us not misrepresent the cross here. Hold it. Hold it. Cheating may not be a deal breaker. Sometimes God will tell you to stay, but he going to change somebody and something. Okay? He's not going to tell you to stay and be further and continuously humiliated. That's what I need people to understand. I don't care how many scriptures she rattled off. I want you to understand that God does not leave you in a situation to continuously be beat on, cheat on, or whatever. I'm not saying that's what he did, so don't start. But my point is, he does not leave you in that situation to continue to be hurt, to continue to be humiliated. He just does not. Come on now. When we struggle in a relationship with men, We sometimes attribute, that to God. But let's be clear, God should be the only one using us. Okay? We cancel struggle love back there. So if y'all want to cancel something, we cancel struggle love. I don't have to put up with baby after baby and lady after lady. I just don't have to do that to show you how much I care for you. So I wanted to clear up the fact that while I'm happy that his wife has scriptures to stand on and believe in, let's be responsible with that too. Let's address the pain and not act like nothing's bothering you and forgiveness is not a journey. I forgive him and all of that. I respect Mary because they like, I wanted to bust his head. I wanted to kill her. Because if that's what you feel at the time, then that's what you feel. So I'm not saying that that's her personality, but I'm saying what I did not want was for people to think that, oh, well, if that's what being a Christian is about, me being misused and showing up looking a fool, I ain't doing that. No, that's not Christianity. That's a choice. That's to be clear. That's a choice, not Christianity. Don't put that on the Lord. Okay, let's not put that on the Lord. Okay. We have to address the pain and not act like nothing's bothering us. That's how people tick-tock boom and go nuts and kill everybody. I'm just saying. I ain't saying that's what she's gonna do, but I'm just saying. So, God will tell us to stick and stay, but we don't have to stick and stay to show that we're good Christians and be abused and be martyrs and that, right. Hold it. That's a choice. Don't put that on Christianity. That's all I want to say about that. So point number 5, and then that's going to be that, because I didn't want to hold you long. But if you're just coming in, I am Zakiya Monique. I'm a master relationship strategist. I help women to enhance their personal relationships so that they can live the life that they desire. What does that mean? We dig up the stuff from past relationships, whether it's with your mother, whether it's with your father, whether it's with your lover, whether it was with whoever was back there that's causing you not to be able to get up there to where you want to go. Okay, we dig up the roots because rotten roots lead to rotten fruit. We were talking about 5 different things. Quick recap. Number 1, I said that Derrick Jaxn, his behavior is not indicative of somebody who's apologetic. I'm just saying. And the quote that I used in that was that behavior tells the secret of the soul. And so if you're handling this situation the way you've handled other situations, we're inclined to believe that maybe, just maybe, you have not enhanced or gone through the healing that you so desire, especially if you're still worried about selling a book more than you are with fixing this situation over here. Number 2, when we access promise before process, this is what we see. We cannot shun God's process. We just got to go through it so that we can then access the promise. Number 3, male coaches need to mentor men instead of teaching women how to deal with men's foolishness. Number 4, cheating is not always a deal breaker for everyone. There are times when God will tell you to stay, but he do not tell you to stay and continue to be abused. I just needed people to know that. I'm not talking about their situation. I just need to say that so that nobody would think that she was representing all of what Christ say do. Hold on. Because some of that is a choice. Some of what she's doing is a choice. And last but not least for tonight, and thank you all for hanging with me. Number 5, and if this is good to you, please share. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like, and you can comment too. I don't mind that, as long as it's decent comments. Like if you disagree, I understand, but disagreement and disrespect is 2 different things. But let's go to number 5. To those who feel that his wife's appearance give him the right or reason to cheat, let us talk. For those who think that his wife's appearance gives him or gave him the reason or right to cheat, let me talk to you for a second. Number 1, yes, we should keep ourselves together, our appearance and everything. We should not let ourselves go. We should. Okay, we should. Not for the relationship, but just for us. Just for ourselves. Okay? This is why it's important that when we enter a relationship, we're whole. Okay, we're whole. We're still a singular person. We're still an individual. We're individual as part of a relationship. We're still, we're one, but we still have different mindsets and ideas. And so as a result, I still need to have an identity here. That's why that's important, because once you lose yourself, then you stop caring about all of the things that you cared about before, like getting your hair fixed or getting your makeup done. You don't even care about that no more because you're just depleted and defeated. But so yeah, we should keep ourselves together. But one of the biggest signs of emotional struggle and turmoil is physical malfunction and discombobulation. I'm gonna say that again for somebody in the back who said what she said. I'm gonna say that again. One of the biggest signs of emotional struggle and turmoil is physical malfunction and physical discombobulation. Do you see where I'm finna go with this? When a person is struggling emotionally, and see, here's the thing, by his own admission, Derrick Jaxn said that he was proud, puffed up. He was narcissistic. Do you know how draining it is to deal with a narcissist? That means that either she ain't never been first or she ain't been first in a long time. He's been first to him. He has been first to him. Especially if they didn't have kids. I don't know if this is their first child that they had in, I think, 2016, but I can tell you one thing. If they didn't have no kids, he was first to him. Because very rarely do a proud person put somebody else first. A narcissist put somebody else first. Cut it out. It's all about them. So let me get this straight. You expected a woman that's been drugged through the ringer and been second and been put over here while he posed for all of them and all of that. You expect her to show up glitz and glamour? That woman tired. That woman is tired. We can warn, honey. She just showed up on camera like, whatever, let's get it done. Because it's going to be humiliating for me. Don't nothing make you want to spruce yourself up when somebody dogging you out. I'm just saying. I ain't saying he dogged her every day, but my point is, hello, his own admission told you some of the stuff wasn't right. She ain't got no more energy for that. But let me be clear. Let's be very clear. I don't care if she had on 2 bonnets, a muumuu, and a tutu. I don't care. That does not give him a reason or a right because he said for better or worse to somebody with the authority to go to say they were married. He said that to somebody. And if you said for better or for worse, I take you to be my wife, then I don't care if she had on 2 bonnets, a muumuu, and a tutu every single day. Don't give you the right or the reason. Don't give you the right or the reason. Because you said that before the same God that you just said healed you. So I'm inclined to believe you ain't just started believing in him today. If appearance was the problem, cheating can't be the first recourse. If you're making money, send her to get a makeover. Send her to have a spa day, get her hands and feet done, and hair done. Send her off to get what you want. Because if you're making money like that and you seen this girl and she fine, go home and dress her up. But your first recourse can't be to go have somebody up in your bed at your house. Like, whoa, when I heard that, I was like, wait, what? Wait, what? Wait, you said what now? He cheated where? Like, wait, what? I was separated. Well, you separated, still married. Don't believe me? Fool around here and die and see who get all your stuff. Hello. They'll be like, you separated. Oh, yeah, so bam, come on over here and tell us what to do. Still married. And the problem is we don't honor the right stuff. We'll sit up and say, he not with her no more, still married. They ain't been together in a long time, still married. They separated, still married. They don't even speak, still married. We got to learn how to call it what it is and honor it as such. If you want to be with me, go get that chapter cleaned up. Go get that cleaned up, figure that out. And then you come on, be back with me. But if not, I ain't going to press pause while you going to do it either. But if you want to be with me, get it right. Don't come and make me live in sin, or don't come and make me be a part of some foolishness, or make me be number 2. Because I can't be number 1 because it's already taken. And don't get me wrong, when I say make me be, I'm not talking about he forced it, because that's a choice. But my point is, don't present me with number 2. Don't present me with that. But we have to do a better job of sending people back to their decisions. Go back over there and fix it. Go back over there and figure it out, because that's not my problem. I'm just there for the kids. We'll call them when kids grow up and see if I'm available. We have to learn how to send people back to their decisions so they can fix it. Because let me tell you something, a blessing out of a season is a curse. Keon Henderson said that, and that stuck with me. Blessing out of us, even if it's somebody that you love and y'all was together when y'all was young and it just feels right. If you're still married, go and fix that. I can't do nothing with you until that time. Because a blessing out of season is a curse, baby, all day long. And if you touch that man, if you touch that woman, your foundation is tainted. Your foundation is tainted. And when the foundation of anything is tainted, not much can stand on it. So I don't care what she looked like. That's what he chose. And if he felt like that was a bad choice, then making another bad choice is not what you do. When you have a bad choice, you make a good one. Bad choices are overturned with good choices. So if you felt like she wasn't the one, go make a decision that's not going to have her humiliated, you losing money, you devastating clients. Because if she chooses to stay in a situation that humiliates her, fine. But those clients, they needed something and somebody to help them. And you said you would. But you end up hurting them and adding a layer of hurt to them because they trusted you. Just like they trusted the men that devastated them, just like they trusted their father, just like they trusted their mothers and the people that devastated them. So now there's another layer of healing. And the reason why it offends me to a certain degree is because when they get to a coach like me that says, let's work, I have to work extra hard for them to trust me because they trusted you and you didn't use your platform right. So that's the thing that bothers me. I'm not perfect, but overall, I don't play about my platform. I don't play about my influence. I don't play about it. But I have to work extra hard to fix the distrust that's in the heart of people because of people that do play with their platform and do play with their influence. And that's a problem for me. So here's what I want to say. Overall, there is no place for any level of arrogance in the healing process of God's people. Say it again. There's no place for any level of arrogance in the healing process of God's people. We cannot tear down, like I said earlier, and profess to be building up at the same time. I pray that Derrick Jaxn really learns from this and that he works diligently to heal his first ministry, because the Bible says, but if any provide not for his own, and especially for those of his own house, he has denied the faith and is worse than an infidel. So it's not okay for us to build up others and intentionally leave our own to struggle and suffer. If you don't take care of your own, God don't allow for us to be public successes and private failures. If you don't take care of your own, God surely will show up. And if you believe in the Bible, go and read Samuel and see what happened to the priest Eli and his sons. Eli was an awesome priest, but he couldn't handle his kids. God kept telling him, hey, get your sons. Hey, get your sons. Get your sons. Eli checked Hannah, but he wouldn't check his own kids. So one day God showed up and said, look, didn't I tell you to get your sons? So this is what's going to happen since you can't get your sons and do what I asked you to do. They're going to die. Them kids going to die the same day. And everybody in your house going to die in the flower of their age. Listen, them sons was killed on the same day. They died the same day. Go read it for yourself. Because God don't play that. You cannot be at home treating people like they are worth nothing, but then going out loving on God's people. Cut it out. Cut it out. Do we struggle? Absolutely. We're human too. Just because we know we have a gift of relationships does not mean we don't struggle in our own sometimes. However, we are not exempt from getting it right. We're not exempt. So let us please pray for Derrick Jaxn, his wife, but don't forget about the other victims, which are the clients and the people that trusted in him to utilize his platform right and his influence over their lives, and he didn't. So that's what I came to say today. I hope this has been good to you. I hope that you will share. Hope you will subscribe. Hope you will come back for more messages. We'll be uploading frequently, and we'll move to weekly. But I thank you guys so very much for coming and just hearing what I have to say. I want you to have a great day. You already know how. You know how we roll on purpose. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. We love you guys. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for being a part of my community.